3 races down, 2 still to go, and every driver coming into this morning's action with a different storyline. They may have had success, they may not, and they're going to be out here today to try to see if they can't finish off this Road America weekend correctly. Hello, race fans. My name's Rob Howden, joined by the driver who definitely is on a high note right now, winning yesterday in USF2000. Anthony Martella, big victory for you yesterday. What about this morning? We'll talk about yesterday first. How good was it to get another win?
Feels amazing, having the bad luck from obviously the Freedom 75 leading most of the race with a very comfortable lead and being taken out halfway through the race. It's gut-wrenching. But, me and the Exclusive Autosport boys have put our heads down, kept working. We know what we're capable of, and we showed that yesterday coming home with the win.
Back at it here this morning for the third race of the triple-header weekend. You feel like you're on a roll? Like we're going to go back to another victory here? How's it going to play out?
100%. We got the win yesterday. Felt really strong, but by ourselves, getting the gaps, and then obviously the draft is so much. Brad was just able to stick with us. But yeah, feeling good for today. Ready to get at it. We're going to make a couple of adjustments to the car to improve, a couple of adjustments on my driving, and hopefully we'll go back to back.
One of the big things for you, and I said it in the broadcast yesterday, was the fact that everybody else is trying to think about championship. You're just going to stack on wins. You may end up being in the championship before it's all said and done, but is that the mindset? I just want to go out and win every race.
Well, obviously coming into the year, my goal was to win the championship, but circumstances outside of my control have kind of taken that away from me as of right now. But again, there's a long season to go. I'm just focused on winning races and improving myself, improving my development as a driver, and keep pushing. And yeah, hopefully we can move up to USF Pro next year.
It's been a great weekend already for Anthony Martella and Exclusive Autosport. A lot of these drivers in this team as well have more work to do. Remember, USF 2000 starting the day off. We're going to go right into USF Pro 2000 after that. But tomorrow, we're not even done. The drivers in the USF Pro 2000 category will head to the Milwaukee Mile because they have an event coming at the end of August on a proper IndyCar oval track. That test will come on Monday. We had a chance to talk to a couple of drivers who will be at that test earlier this weekend. One of the most popular additions to the USF Pro 2000 schedule for 2026 was the addition of the Milwaukee Mile. It's been 13 years since this program, the USF Pro Championships, ran at the mile. This year going back alongside IndyCar, and the drivers in Pro 2000 very excited to run a proper oval race. Of course, IRP, that 5/8 mile oval, and the Freedom 90 is a challenging one for sure, but IndyCar doesn't race there. They do race at the Milwaukee Mile. And this driver here who won the Freedom 90, Michael Costello for Turn 3 Motorsports, how excited are you to get to the mile? That's going to be a fun racetrack.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be really fun to go somewhere that's like so big for these cars. I think it'll remind us a lot of Gateway back in the day. But yeah, I think it's good that we're running there because it's a lot different than IRP. It's somewhere we're going to be going for the next few years, if not, when we get to IndyCar. And yeah, I think it's going to be a huge learning curve from IRP, but I'm excited to get out there and see.
So let's talk about this racetrack because we're here at Road America this weekend, but it's a quick turnover. Monday, we'll be at the Milwaukee Mile, so the teams will have to get the cars turned over to oval trim. You guys will have to change the switch in your head to go oval racing as well from Sunday here to a Monday there. What are your thoughts on getting out there for the first time? How do you approach a track like that that's so fast?
Honestly, I'm going to approach it the exact same way as IRP. Don't stack it in the wall and build up to it. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun little test day that we have. I think in terms of how fast it's going to be, I think it's going to be really, really quick. Honestly, I think it might be flat out, to be honest with you. I mean, on the sim it is, so I hope it is in real life. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it's such a different style of an oval. You're not going to be right up against the wall. I think you're going to be more toward the bottom, so we'll see. I think also the racing is going to be a lot different as well, something that we're all going to have to adjust to. Not being kind of forced on one line, maybe two. I think there's going to be 3 or 4 there.
You want an IRP? Do you have expectations to win there as well?
Yeah, doubling up would be great. But, also you have to look at it realistically. No one's been there. It's going to be kind of the development race on who gets to set up there. But, obviously my goal is to win. We're going to do everything we can to do it. But, yeah, we just have to put the work in, really take Monday as probably the most serious test we've done this year. And I think it's going to be close to Arlington in the sense of you get one chance to get it right.
You got to go back to 2013, the last time the USF Pro Championships raced at the Milwaukee Mile. So they're all going to be brand new for the drivers here coming in. G3 Argyros, you've run IRP many times, but it's time to go on a real IndyCar oval. We're going to the mile. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm incredibly excited. I think that it's incredible for the series to prep us not only for Indy Next, but for IndyCar, giving us a leg up on, not only the drivers in Indy Next, but also the drivers in IndyCar who ran through this program in the past, but didn't get the experience to run on a big oval. And it's from what I've heard and the, videos of other Indy Lights and what I've heard from some of my friends in Indy Next, it's a completely different experience than anything IRP prepares you for. So I'm incredibly excited, and I think it'll be a really fast oval. So it's something that I'm excited for.
How much sim time have you put in on this thing here? I know it's just an oval, but, and then you have to connect the sim time to the actual track, but have you been on the sim quite a bit?
The difficult part is that they repaved it, so the scan is old. So all of us, it's kind of like going back to Arlington for the first time. There is a scan, but it's completely different. And so the material's different, the laser scan's different, and the banking's slightly different. So it'll give you a little leg up, but I don't think anyone's going to have a really extensive grasp of the track before we get there like we do for most other circuits.
We're going to be testing there this Monday, obviously on the road course here, Road America, 4 miles down to the mile in Milwaukee, just down the road. What's your maybe focus or strategy going into that test day on Monday?
It's just going to be a wealth of knowledge and learning for me, and then as well for the teams, because, like you said, a lot of these teams didn't exist when they raced here last, so it's going to be a completely different setup to what we run at IRP. So a lot of these guys are going to be starting for the first time in a very long time on a brand new baseline for all of the cars. So it's going to be incredibly important to have some really skilled drivers who are good at setting up their car to get their cars in the window, because being brand new, it takes a lot of toll on the engineers, and it's not as breezy as coming back to a place where you're at every year.
A team like Pabst Racing, which runs the G3, knows this racetrack. That notebook he talked about, filled with information of how to go fast here. Nobody has that for the Milwaukee Mile. Repaved, a brand new race car since 2013. It is going to be wild, and Monday may be the most tough test day we have all season long.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
We test every vehicle for driving safety, performance, and efficiency. But we also believe a vehicle should be fun. So we set out to test the all-new Prelude for joy, excitement, and exhilaration. And it's clear, it's not just the way our vehicles move, but the way they make you feel that makes them a Honda. The Prelude Hybrid, engineered for fun.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Road America as we get set to go for two fantastic races on a beautiful Sunday morning here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. My name's Rob Howden. I will be joined by Eric Miller in the booth here at Road America right at start finish. And we welcome all those of you who are watching on the USF Pro Championship YouTube channel or on the downloadable mobile app. A gorgeous morning, a little cooler than yesterday, 60 degrees, blue skies. And all these young drivers ready to get back out for one more shot at this 4-mile racetrack. We're just moments away, about 5 minutes from firing up these engines. So let's have a look at the 24-car grid here in USF 2000. Row number 12 starting on the outside. In fact, it's an all Jay Howard driver development. Row number 12, Cal Peter in the number 9 going to start on the outside. His teammate, Naim Saleh, starting on the inside. Moving to row number 11 now on the outside in the VRD Racing, number 78, Jack Morhart coming off a strong run in race number 2. He starts 22nd alongside one of our 5 USF Juniors drivers stepping up here this weekend to run USF 2000. That is Grant Mitchell from Illinois in the Zanella Racing, number 28. Into the top 20 now. Row number 10 on the outside, Kaylee Countryman from Arizona for Jay Howard Driver Development, powered by Ed Carpenter Racing. Countryman, the rookie, in the number 5, coming off a podium finish in the F1 Academy program earlier this year. She'll start 20th alongside Leonardo Saravalli, the young driver out of Thorold, Ontario, Canada for Exclusive Autosport. And the number 87 again, Saravalli, one of the top junior drivers in that program. That series getting back rolling in a couple of weeks' time at Mid-Ohio. Up now to row number 9, row number 9, starting on the outside. Keep an eye on this driver here, folks, Liam Loiacono out of Australia. Last year here in USF Juniors, he won all 3 races. It's been a difficult weekend thus far for the Australian in the number 6 machine. A couple of incidents on track. He got taken out yesterday as well, so issues for Loiacono, starting 18th, but the pace is there, I believe, to run up front. Watch for him to try to attack into the top 10 very quickly. He'll start alongside Thomas Nordquist in the number 17 D-Force Racing Machine. Nordquist and Loiacono on row number 9. Up to row 8, the rookie driver out of Montreal, on Quebec, Canada. That is Lucas Nanji in the Pabst Racing number 24. Top 10 pace there as well, so Nanji will be focusing forward from the get-go. He'll start alongside South African driver Vian Boshoff for PFH Racing. Boshoff in the number 67. Starting in 15th. Row 7 will have Elias Vignola, the Mexican, for D-Force Racing in the number 10. Start alongside fellow rookie Gabriel Kahn from Exclusive Autosport in the number 93. Up to row number 6, starting on the outside, single car effort for NV Motorsports, and it is Wesley Gundler behind the wheel. He's had a great weekend thus far. It's been a couple ups and downs, but Gundler, the rookie in the number 46, rolls in here, sitting 13th in points. Just a couple minutes to go before we fire things up. Inside of Gundler will be Ayrton Kahn for Exclusive Autosport, the New Mexican driver in the number 94. Into the top 10 right now. Lots to watch. All essentially the top 15 drivers all scoring their second best time, or their race time from race 2 as the time they use, not their second best qualifying time. So a very fast pace in that race has really shaken things up in terms of the top 10. Anthony Martella and Connor Aspley will be on row number 5. Martella, yesterday's winner, starting from 10th. So watch for the number 92 to attack forward. And Aspley in that 91, coming off a great 11th place finish yesterday, looking to see if he can't finish in the top 10 here. Another one of our full-time USF Juniors drivers. Row 4 will have Evan Cooley, podium as well yesterday for Exclusive Autosport. He's starting 8th. We got guys back here ready to attack. He'll start alongside Ryan Janetta in the number 44 for VRD Racing. Row 3 has Cole Medeiros, the rookie, all the way up, and the outside there in the 6th position for Exclusive Autosport. Round 1 winner, Eddie Beswick for Pabst Racing in the 23, starting in 5th. Go to row number 2 on the outside, Joao Vergara in the number 3 for VRD Racing. He started on the outside of the front row yesterday and fell back a bit. He's looking for some retribution here. Vergara starting 4th alongside Brad Mashman. A couple of second place finishes. He did not want to be the bridesmaid here today. He may get aggressive in that Pabst Racing number 22. 24 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Off pole, he drove from the very back of the pack up into 6th place yesterday. That is Oliver Weldon for VRD Racing. This time an outside front row starting spot. Weldon looking for his first career USF Pro Championships victory. He's in the 98. And the driver on the pole position right now. Fantastic run, fast lap in race number 2. He's your point leader. He has not finished outside the top 5 this year. 3 wins for D-Force Racing. Sebastian Garzone in the number 12 on the pole. Field is set. Time to fire up these engines. We'll head down to pit lane. One of our guests from the USF Pro Championships to give us a command to fire engines. I'll introduce Brody Deshane. And with that, engines come to life down on pit lane. Getting set to go, as I said, 24 drivers will take the green flag. Sebastian Garzone, the point leader. It's been an unbelievable season thus far. One of those magic starts that you're always looking for as a young racer when you're chasing a scholarship to move into the next level of competition. You got to remember, all these drivers always chasing the scholarships we have lined up to move up to the next level. He has a solid point lead right now, 211 points to 173 points, as Brad Maj, with a couple of second place finishes here this weekend, moves himself up to P2, but the margin is significant. As I said, 211 to 173. We have a long season still. We're just past the halfway point now. Majman right there, not far back. Evan Cooley as well. He's had a fantastic run of top 5 finishes himself since his debacle of a weekend at St. Petersburg, where he got taken out in both races, no fault of his own. Cooley 3rd in points. Eddie Beswick, that race 1 win, big for him. Moves him up there as well. Joao Vergara 5th. And how about Anthony Martella? Again, it's been a rough kind of feast or famine year so far for the Canadian for Exclusive Autosport. Taken out in the opening race in race 1 at St. Pete. Mechanical failure in race 2. Comes back and wins at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course. Has a DNF that weekend as well. Has the oval race, the Freedom 75 at IRP in hand at the halfway point. A solid lead, cruising essentially to a win. Driver spins out in front of him, and turn number 4, he gets collected comes back here, a podium in race 1, a penalty in that for blocking drops him down to 9th, and he storms back to get a win in race number 2 on the weekend. Absolutely amazing what he was able to get done. I'll tell you, Eric Miller, this field is set to go. We always talk about different storylines when we come to race number 3. If you've had a great weekend, maybe you settle back and stack some points. If you've had a rough one, like a guy like Liam Loiacono, drop the hammer and go forward.
Well, they got nothing left to lose other than a few more wing panels at this point for Jay Howard. It's been a disastrous weekend.
Yes.
But I'd credit to that team, though. I mean, they have worked diligently hard, certainly getting those race cars back on track after everybody in the fleet really having difficulty here in most of the preliminary races this weekend. But let's talk a little bit about your front row. I mean, Sebastian Garzon started pretty deep in the field yesterday. Started 11th, came back to finish up in the top 4. Obviously then also him dropping back in race 1 all the way to 12th, fought his way back into the top 5. He's been able to salvage some points, and with that fast lap yesterday, pole sitter today.
There were times in both of those races I would have said, wow, this is that race that everybody else was hoping for. Garzon's not going to have a good weekend because, again, 3 wins and 6 podiums in the first 6 races of the year, and then he has potential issues back in 12th. No, storms his way up to top 5s in the last 2 races to continue the top 5 streak. And again, when a driver gets on a roll like that, a couple drivers have closed up a little bit, but he still has a pretty good gap. Long way to go in the championship still. Garzon is very impressive. And starting from pole, he is going to be tough here. We know how quick he is. But how about that kid on the outside of the front row? Eric started 24th yesterday, drove his way up to 6th. Probably the career drive for Oliver Weldon. But can he get that first win that's eluded him for 2 years now?
Being on the front row here, he's got the perfect opportunity. We know that the toe is very valuable here on the straightaways. When does he time his move? When does he make his move? Or does he go aggressive, or does he play a little conservative at the start, keep some tires underneath him, and have them at the end?
Well, and this is where I say the tale of those 2 stories, right? Garzon doesn't need to be aggressive. He doesn't need to win this. Another podium, another top 5, and he's going to keep rolling his way towards that potential championship when we get back here to Road America for our finale at the end of September. A guy like Oliver Weldon right now, he comes in and he just needs to get it done. He needs that first win. He needs to get the monkey off his back. He's 8th place in points. He's out by 111 points. Championship probably out of the grasp for him. What he needs to think about is going for race wins. Field set out at turn number 14, 12 laps, 40-minute time limit. It is time to go racing to fire things up here at Road America on a gorgeous Sunday in Wisconsin. They're lined up nicely. Field looks perfect, and we are green, green, green. The race down into turn number 1.
Already 3 wide for that second spot. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him 4 abreast by the time we get to turn 1. Everybody settles back down to a 2x2 except about row 5 or 6 there. 3 abreast into turn 1, but this is where we saw a lot of calamity yesterday.
Here's the battle early. Garzon made the move to the inside. Look at this first attack. On it quickly. Weldon to the inside of the racetrack in turn number 3. Just as I had said, a great start for Garzon, but Weldon right on the attack. They'll go side by side under the Sargento Bridge for the first time, and 2 wide, many areas back through the field. Big wreck. Big wreck in the back of the track. A car way up in the air coming down. We had drivers connect. That car was probably 30 feet in the air.
It was over the fence.
He was almost up and over the fence. The catch fence catching him. What a huge incident coming down the straightaway through essentially the Cape turn number 4. Drivers together further back. One off there in the runoff of turn number 5. Caution on the course. A massive incident coming down into turn number 5 as they were side by side further back. Obviously wheel-to-wheel contact, and man, from the replay or the shot we saw, all I could see was a car 20, 30 feet in the air. Unbelievable. Hopefully the driver involved is going to be all right. AMR safety team will be on scene very quickly. As we know, this will be, I would expect, full course yellow for sure. We'll see whether or not we go red. We talked, Eric, you and I yesterday about the safety of these race cars. In 2022, Anderson Promotions adding the halo to what was then the USF2000, a new midsection, new carbon monocoque for the car, a little bit wider to accommodate the need for the mounting points of the halo. and it has played such a massive role for us over the years. We had a big wreck here last year in USF Juniors with JT Hoskins losing it in the kink and rolling many times. But the field has now wound itself up. Hoping to get some insight here momentarily on what we have on the racetrack here.
Sounds like it might be the Ryan Giannetta at 5. So Giannetta just exited at 5.
Ryan Giannetta in the 44 is off the racetrack right now. Unsure exactly which car might be up in the air at this point, or was up in the air. As the field works its way around, we'll have a look. Brad Majman comes across the line, P1. Second is Garzone. Third is Vergara. Fourth, Beswick. Fifth is Weldon. That was a scary incident right now. We're going to find out whether or not he is out of the car here. Just waiting on some news from race control. Being told it's the number 90 of Evan Cooley, driver on the podium yesterday. I talked about the fact he's got a fantastic run of results here for the last little while. And I believe he's fine. So the shot that we have, we don't have it here myself, but if you're watching online, the drone shot says that he is out of the race car. He got out by himself. So good insight coming from our team as well. I don't have exactly the same feed that I call here in the booth that we see on the broadcast. If you're watching there with the drone shot that picked that up, Evan able to get out of the car by himself. So hopefully at that point, now that we know he's okay, we'll be able to get a chance to look at a replay. All right, folks, this is what we're going to have here momentarily as our production crew hooking us up. So watch up in the air. Look at he barrel rolls that machine. That is a massive wreck for Cooley. And watch as it gets up top. It ends up, look at how high that car was in the air. And a hard impact coming down. To hear that young man was able to unbuckle and climb out himself. Just another testament to the quality of this Tatis race car. Man. Unbelievable stuff. I'm quickly looking over here as well at our broadcast. Eric, that was a wild one. And listen, open wheel cars, it can happen. When you get together, lock wheels, the car's oftentimes going to get up in there. You're going to get some air. It all depends on when when it lands again. If it lands flat, if it lands and you're starting to tumble, it doesn't take much with all that energy to begin that barrel roll, and then for the car to get up into the fence a little bit, and that kind of rolled it up a bit, kind of laddered it up as well. That was a massive incident for Evan Cooley, but for him to be able to climb out by himself, man, everybody, I think, breathing a collective sigh of relief.
Yeah, and absolutely kind of a scary situation, but anytime that you have a car possibly dig in and make contact with a second car, so hopefully it was just simply inertia from the initial contact and not being impacted a second time. But as you said, the introduction of the safety cell and certainly the halo here, yet again proving that that safety direction is proper for these Tatis race cars. But that is just an incident that we don't regularly see right past Sargento. So there's really not a good camera look at that, even from our track camera standpoint. But I don't necessarily know if we want to watch it.
It's, again, like I said, open wheel racing. But yes, the strength and the safety built into these Tatis race cars. Shout out to all those men and women over at Tatis in Italy who build our race cars for us. The addition of the halo, we just can't talk enough about how it has exponentially raised the safety of these cars. And again, just thrilled to see that Evan able to climb out of the car. It's such a fantastic weekend so far as well, coming off that podium finish yesterday, and was hoping to see if he can't race for a win here today. Man, oh man, that was a shunt. And again, tough part of that racetrack. Normally you'd see drivers essentially wheel to wheel here. We're going to have another look here we got some cameras ourselves here as well that aren't part of the broadcast. I'm just going to have a quick look as we can see it coming through. We have a camera under the bridge. Yeah, it's a little further up to the left side there, guys. It's past the bridge. The track does start to work its way back to the left when you're working your way down there, and if guys are pinching each other down, So it's a sweep to the right, then back down to the left to get into turn number 5. Watching a gaggle of cars. Again, we're essentially probably 3-4 rows deep of wheel to wheel. And there's going to be some kind of side-to-side contact that got him spun around. So I'm sure some in-car camera onboard views will give us some more insight, but we are under full course yellow around this racetrack. The simple fact that Evan was able to get out of the car, absolutely amazing. A massive shunt here in USF 2000. Wow, you can think about the drivers coming through behind him as well, guys. When that happened, you all of a sudden see a car up in the air like that. For those drivers in the back, mentally press the reset button because you got to go racing still. We've got lots of laps still to go. AMR safety team will do their best to get that car up on a hook so we can get back to green flag racing. Right now, as we come across the line, 2 laps in the books. So obviously be 3 when we get back around. Maybe we'll be able to go back to green on 4. Ryan Janetta, the driver, off as well. He was off at the end of the straightaway. Not sure if he was collateral damage or part of the initial incident. Looks like Cal Peter out as well.
And that is the 3rd race for Cal Peter to get involved in early. And again, that was a lot of work for the Jay Howard driver development team to put together 4 cars again for this round.
It's been a rough stretch for Callahan Peter. He was the driver who spun at IRP as well and collected the leader there. So a lot of damage to those cars. And again, let's give a shout out to the Jay Howard driver development crew because they have been nonstop. A lot of these drivers, or mechanics rather, are thrilled when the car comes back to the trailer in one piece because it means it's not going to be a super late night. But they were burning the candle on both ends over at Jay Howard driver development throughout the weekend, getting those cars back on the racetrack. So shout out to them. Brad Majman is your leader. Again, second in both of the first 2 races here this weekend, looking to get another win, scored a victory at Indianapolis, but P2 in the first 2 races here. He knows he'll be kind of the mark when we go back to green flag racing. Sebastian Garzone second, Joao Vergara in 3rd spot. 4th, Eddie Beswick. 5th, outside pole sitter Oliver Weldon. 6th, Cole Madero. 7th, Ayrton Kahn. 8th, Connor Aspley. 9th, Gabe Kahn, and 10th, Liam Loiacono. Loiacono started 18th. He'll take the benefit from the chaos and go from 18th up into the top 10. Loiacono, look for him to keep fighting here. Yeah, Eric, that was a wild one. Again, we're watching it, kind of what we can see. Again, there's not really camera right at that particular part, right? We watch them coming out of the bridge. Then we pick them up on the way down into turn number 5, and all of a sudden, all I saw was a little bit of dust and then a car 20, 30 feet in the air, like you said, to the very top of the catch fence where it actually has that part that dips back in. Trouble potentially for Lucas Nanji in the number 24. Our spotters are telling us he may be stopped on the race course somewhere, so maybe an issue here for Lucas Nanji as well. But yeah, scary shunt, but again, a collective sigh of relief that Evan Cooley able to get out of that race car, climb into the AMR safety vehicle, head back to the medical center where he'll obviously be evaluated and released once he's fine. But for him to climb out by himself as well, one thing, as we know, is if the AMR safety team gets there and helps him out of the car. But for him to unbuckle, climb right out, the absolute best result after what had happened on the racetrack.
And looks like the 24 has come to a slow stop, potentially over in the Kettle Bottoms between 11B and Canada Corner at 12. So they'll need to likely send someone out to help out the Lucas Nanji automobile.
I thought we may have been able to go green on lap number 4. Maybe not.
Well, in this situation, Rob, I think that the cleanup is concluded over in 4A on that. It's just past the Sargento Bridge. You talked about the kink. It kind of goes back right and then slowly comes back left into the braking zone where it opens up a little bit. So when you're 3 wide at that point, from what we can see, is it looks like that Evan Cooley might have been on driver's right and potentially may have gotten tapped from behind. He made a very abrupt turn to the left and then made the contact wheel to wheel with the 2 noses of the cars coming together, and that's what may have unfortunately sent him up in the air from what we can see, but I'm sure that's probably conjecture on our part.
Yeah, so again, kind of having a look at it here. Was there contact from the back where a driver was kind of pinching across a little bit? Was it nose to the nose of the car behind to the attenuator? Was it actually wheel-to-wheel contact? We're going to obviously get a lot of information on that once we can kind of unpack using the onboard cameras. As part of what we do in our program, at the end of every race, the camera comes out, the memory card comes out of every camera into the box and into race control so that we can look at it afterwards. So they'll have a great opportunity to see exactly what happened there and have a look at some incident responsibility, because this is, again, it's a driver development program. It's a teaching series, right? So, yeah, they're flat-towing Lucas Nanji back now, but it's a teaching series. So if you have an incident like this, you want to be able to find it. You want to be able to assign incident responsibility so the driver and those involved get to use that as a learning opportunity.
And part of that is getting these drivers back into the mindset of visors down, lights down, go back to green. You got to focus forward for the rest of the race. So about a third, almost to halfway at this point for this race. So this is going to be a little bit more of a dash, so to speak. Yeah. Although not many dashes have a 4-mile race course where you've got 14 turns to be able to change your circumstances. But this is going to be a critical restart here, I think, for Majman and Gorzon and Vergara as well.
It's been interesting because we've seen this almost every race so far. An early incident, and then we go green for the remainder of the race. Right now, we're, I believe, potentially going green this time by, so I'd love to see that. So, yeah, let's say we'll put lap 4 in the books. There's still 8 laps remaining. It's not like we have lost a bunch of laps. Ideally, we'll be able to go green to check here and have some great racing like we did in the first 2 races. They're going to be able to get this car of Nanji up the hill and into the cutoff on the exit of turn number 13 in time to be able to go back to green flag racing. Yeah, here comes our Honda Civic Type R pace car bolting up there as well. So great timing to allow our drivers to get back at it. Single file as they come out of turn 13. No, yeah, oh no. All right. So just so you see, folks, the car on the left side there was going to be able to be pulled off. The timing was perfect. The tow strap broke. The strap that they bring him on, they put a bar across the roll bar over top of the helmet and pull it in from there. That tow strap broke just as they were pulling him off on the exit of 13, so one more lap under yellow.
Which is going to make it even more of a dash at this point for this USF 2000 championship. Rob, when the weekend kind of just doesn't go your way, it seems that that has 2 paths of action.
Yep.
How does it affect the rest of your season, and how do you turn it around?
It's exactly that, because half of it's mental, right? When you have an incident like that, or either an incident or, like you said, a whole weekend where you just can't seem to put anything together. You get collected another guy's incidents, you make a minor mistake yourself. Again, it's a development series, it's a teaching series, it's an opportunity for the drivers then to get down and figure the mental side out. How do I place myself in the right headspace going into the next weekend? And thankfully, it's not like we have a long time off. They'll get a weekend off, and then we go with IndyCar to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course on the July 4th weekend. So they're coming right back at it to battle at Mid-Ohio. You've got to get yourself in the right headspace. In fact, the pro drivers here this weekend, if you've had an issue, we're going to the Oval tomorrow at the Milwaukee Mile. We got a test tomorrow there, so they've got to get in oval mode as well. But for these USF 2000 drivers, Eric, they've got a couple of weeks before we head back to Mid-Ohio.
Another natural terrain road course, elevation changes. Talked a little bit about that yesterday during one of the race rounds. But that racetrack can be just as tricky, especially when you get into, obviously the roller coaster, two, at least one very long straightaway with the bend in it, obviously headed towards China Beach there. Mid-Ohio is going to test these drivers just as much as Road America.
100%. The Road America, Mid-Ohio back-to-back, I love it because it's just 2 such iconic racetracks. The elevation changes, like you said, the undulating nature of the racetrack. Mid-Ohio, so, I say, weather fickly. It's kind of goes, you never know. In the morning, it could be like this. Afternoon, all of a sudden it goes from being 60 to 75 to 80, and the track's completely different. So very finicky, and the drivers, again, have to work on that. And again, one of the big things is the team you're with. right? The notebook they've had over the many years we've been going to Mid-Ohio, especially since you bring the new race car in. The opportunity for those teams that have been around a long time to go back to that notebook and say, hey, listen, it is X amount of humidity, the temperature's like this. Oh, it's exactly like that back in 2022. Here's what we did, and here's what worked. All right, so field set. Finally got that car of Lucas Nanji off to the inside of the racetrack in turn number 13, the left-hander leading up to the final corner on the racetrack. Our pace car getting on the throttle to bolt itself out, and we will get ready to go back to racing. Indeed, 5 laps will be in the books. We'll have 7 laps of green flag racing. Ideally, if we go to the very end, Majman, Garzon, Vergara, Beswick, and Weldon, the top 5 drivers. Here we go. Pace car is off in the hands of Majman. He knows that Garzon's going to be attacking quickly. Joao Vergara trying to finish off this weekend as well. Couple drivers stacking things up a little further back, and we're at it. Green flag is flying. As soon as that green flag flies, you're rolling, and we already see drivers diving to the inside of the racetrack. 2 wide, further back, maybe 3 wide. We come across the line. Indeed, 3 wide, coming up the straightaway further back. That's outside the top 3 or 4. Let's see what we have for a battle coming into turn number 1. Wow, the attack for Vergara. He actually goes to second. Garzon does not mount an attack on Majman. So that young Aussie will be smiling going down to turn 3. Does not get attacked there. In fact, he's got a fantastic lead as it is Vergara who's gone into second spot. Joao Vergara into P2. Good attack. All right, back under the Sargento Bridge. A little bit of side-by-side again coming under there as they work their way into that bending straightaway. Little right bend, little left bend coming down into the braking zone of turn number 5. Solid lead here for Vergara, and Garzon goes around the outside. Takes P2 back over in turn number 5. Eric Garzon just will not give up. Look at this side-by-side action. Big move up the inside as well. Wow. I think Vergara went back and got it. Indeed he did. Vergara took it back, and Eddie Beswick came with him.
Big lockup for Garzon going into the 6, and a rough ride mid-pack as well on the exit of 7 into Hurry Downs.
Again, everybody with a different storyline. Vergara, outside of the front row yesterday, fell back deeper into the field. Not happy at all with the result. He wants to win a race, just like Weldon. These guys are up on it. They know they've got to get the job done here. And Vergara, battling it out with the point leader, said, no, that's not happening right now. Here's a side-by-side moving. Garzon wisely got out of it. Eric, you know what happens if a USF 2000 car tries to go side-by-side through the kink.
Absolutely. But you also know that Garzon, just like you said, consistency is going to win that championship. As the points leader, he's trying to avoid putting himself at risk.
Exactly that. Don't put yourself into a position where you could end up with a DNF here, even a top 10 result. He's stacking points. We've used that term throughout the entire weekend. A fantastic start for Garzon, but look at the middle of the fight he's in now. Now he's pressured by one of the exclusive Autosport cars. That might be
full course yellows.
Driver's gone off in turn number 12 in Canada Corner. Another full course yellow. So that hope that we were going to be able to go green to checker dashed here, only a lap in, as we got a couple of cars together. We're being told it's the number 17 of Thomas Nordqvist. Some side-by-side contact down into the braking zone at turn number 12. So Nordqvist and the D-Force Racing 17, the driver involved in that one. Off in 12, contact potentially with the tire barrier. Tough corner, Eric. You're carrying a lot of speed into that particular corner. You're hard on the brakes as well, trying to roll the center to get back on power early. You're really pushing hard, and it's really, you think about it, you're on power into the carousel. You're full throttle all the way through. What do you got there?
Yeah, and just taking a look at the replay, looks like you just kind of got out on the exit curb, just past, and looped it and backed it into the tire wall on the exit of turn 12. So definitely contact. Not sure if it had contact with another car, but it certainly looked like he may have gotten up on the gators and lost a little bit of that adhesion.
That is a corner that if you're with, you can kind of go 2x2 through. If a guy's on the inside, you're on the outside. But if you're on the outside, you got to make sure you keep pinching down. If you give them too much room, and like you said, you get out on all those gator strips on the outside, there's always that drop off. And when you go over the gator strip, sometimes the wheel drop off. You could high center the car a little bit. and it doesn't take much. As you saw, we don't have the replay here available to us, but the one from the closed circuit cameras here at Road America, snap, spin, and just backed it into the tires.
So the AMR safety team is over in Canada Corner, just on the exit, as the safety car rolling underneath the Mission Foods bridge. Of course, there's a good look at the beach over there on the outside of the carousel. There's also the carousel trail on the outside of 9 and 10, and there's an elevated bleacher section back in the woods just behind the Mission Bridge there, not in the camera shot there, but that bleacher section is great. You can definitely see the elevation change from 9 into 10. It's quite the drop, and it feels that way as you're trying to squeeze power back in and trying to get back down that long back straightaway with the kink and kettle bottoms as well.
Got a text from Steve Knapp, the owner of Elite Engines. He and his son Logan building all the engines for the USF Pro Championships. He actually had a chance to see the race car of Evan Cooley and letting me know that everything did its job, safety cell, all intact. So that's what the cars are designed to do, folks. A roll like that, a flip like that, it's going to look very violent. You'll see parts getting shedded off. But that's the concept, right? The idea is for all those parts to absorb the impact, to take away, dissipate a lot of that energy, and the safety cell, the driver, and the carbon monocoque, the tub, to be able to support the driver. Another one of the big things, obviously, is the custom seat as well. When they're in there, with that custom seat, they pour for all of the drivers inside that safety cell anytime an incident like that happens. Now that we've added the halo, the level of safety is, again, raised exponentially, and fantastic to hear that Evan Cooley's okay. And just hearing he's actually been cleared and released as well from medical. So that's fantastic news.
Great news. If we get a chance to go green, we'll go green with 4 laps to go. So again, the dash becomes even shorter now. And then you also have a little bit of aggression with this USF 2000 championship. The first 2 rounds of the weekend, we've seen them be able to finish the races under green, but early incidents kind of been the story all weekend. Even in the test and practice sessions from Thursday into Friday, kind of a similar story. Very early problems for a few drivers, and then it cleans up a little bit towards the end of the session as everybody gets a little bit more comfortable. But not a lot of patience in the USF 2000 this weekend.
And again, listen, a big shunt on the opening lap, and then a couple of drivers side by side, a little contact there for Nordquist on the restart lap. I hate to see these drivers rolling around here behind the pace car. That's not what we like in our program. We're all about green flag racing. Ideally, we'll be able to go back to green here momentarily. So trying to get that car at Nordquist handled so we can get back at it here. Just look, I got actually another camera shot here. They finally got that car up on the hook, and from turn number 12 up to turn 13, it's not going to be tough. I would bet that we maybe have an opportunity to go back to green here because the car is leaving the scene now, and the AMR crew climbing back behind the wheel of their truck. So, yeah, that car is going to be able to get up and over into the exit point at 13 very quickly. There's a great shot for you there. Leaving the scene, and the driver's just coming down out of 7 into the hurry downs of turn number 8. So very likely an opportunity to go back to green flag. We'll see whether or not it happens. If so, we could have a potentially 4 laps of green flag here at the end. Otherwise, it's been a rough one. Love it. We are going to go back to green, I'm being told. Good stuff. All right, let's do this again. It's been a very messy start to the final USF 2000 race of the triple header. USF Pro 2000 drivers ready to go as well. They'll be up next for their back end of the doubleheader. Big victory yesterday for G3 Argyros for Pabst Racing as he scores his first USF Pro 2000 victory. I want to try to come back and do it again here in race number 2. Cap off our weekend here at Road America. We'll focus forward to Mid-Ohio after that. The pro drivers thinking about Monday. And tomorrow they get on track at the Milwaukee Mile for a test day ahead of our August race alongside IndyCar and Indy Next. All right, time to go back to racing. Let's see if we can't get 4 clean laps in here, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 8 will go in the books when they come back around. And once again, Brad Majman having to fend off the challenges, this time of Joao Vergara, who got super aggressive. Garzón back into the 5th or 6th position there. 5th across the line. Green flag is flying. We're underway. Back at it here for 4 more, if all goes well. USF 2000 drivers storming across start-finish. Good jump there for Majman as Eddie Beswick going after Vergara. So the 2 Pabst Racing drivers attacking again. Vergara on the outside, not quite enough. Weldon there too as they work their way through turn number 1. Big run down into 3, and look at the gap for Majman this time. Big gap as Majman looking to complete this weekend. Couple of runner-up finishes. Could he get the victory that's eluded him all day on Saturday? Could Sunday morning be the magic day for Brad Majman?
Making their way underneath the Sargento Bridge back towards turn 5. A little bit of a lead extension here right off the get-go on the restart. About 5-6 car lengths. A lot of brake lockups. Again, temperatures in these tires not quite all the way up yet because of all the yellow flags.
Contact there, top of the hill. A driver getting into the back of the 97 of Cole Medeiros. So top of the hill, turn 6. They just crested the hill. Medeiros just starting to turn in, and contact in the back set him for a loop. He remains in turn number 6. Ideally, we'll be able to refire that car and continue. Otherwise, we may see yet another full course yellow. There could be damage to the left rear as the contact was significant, sending him around at the top of the hill. Another opportunity for race control to have a look at the video. Oh, he pulls up, fires it up, and good job for Cole Medeiros. We're back at it. We'll stay clean and green. But a great shot there as we saw it coming up the hill. Driver getting into the back of Medeiros as he transitioned into the corner 6. Eric DeBeiler the way down the back straightaway. Big lead right now for Brad Majman. But look at this fight a little bit further back. I believe that's Grant Mitchell, and I want to say Elias Vignola going at it now.
What's rule number 1 here with team racing?
Well, I talked to Eddie about it, and he said essentially at one point they were given the green light to go racing. Yep, you guys can race, but whatever you do, don't take each other out. I think I told you the same thing happened back when it was Miles Rowe and Jace Denmark going at it, and Augie Pabst got on the radio and said, boys, this is going to be a Pabst Racing 1-2. You guys figure it out, but it is a 1-2. Don't make the mistake to take yourselves off the racetrack. Weldon, though, now the big battle is he's trying to find his way by Vergara. Pabst Racing drivers pulling away to try to do it again.
The reason why I asked that is because it looks like it may have been Exclusive Autosport contact in 6.
Maybe, yeah.
They were all running together.
Yeah, that's a possibility. We'll have a look at that top of the hill. This is the battle. It's going to be 3 wide, folks, coming down to turn number 5. Watch this. Garzón's trying to get to the inside of the racetrack. Weldon, I think, is able to slam the door on him. Is that Vergara back into 3rd? It is. And Weldon's going to lose a spot to Garzón, and look who's stacking up behind him. Ayrton Kahn, Gabriel Kahn, Anthony Martella, Connor Aspley. There is 4 Exclusive Autosport drivers knocking on the door, and that's very likely where the Medeiros contact came. So you're right, that may be team-on-team crime. I went straight to the leaders, Pabst Racing. Eric trying to lay some blame down here on the Exclusive Autosport boys.
Just trying to add a little flavor.
Hey, listen, that'll be a debrief later on where they're going to have to chat with each other because some contact for sure, obviously some contact that sent Medeiros around on the transition. So, yeah, there you go, folks. Drive-through penalty for Gabriel Kahn in the number 93 is contact with his teammate. Gabriel Kahn, 9th place in points coming in. This is going to be a hurt there. Top of the hill like that. Again, it's a blind corner, as we know. Blind uphill left-hander. You got to turn in before you can even see the apex. And oftentimes when you're running that close, doesn't take much for a little bit of contact.
Well, not only that, but obviously, the 93 getting, the pass-through penalty for avoidable contact. But that contact can also originate from the driver turning in early, making it maybe a little bit different open entry or a late entry to the apex.
We have a number of race control members in there, right? So our race directors, one's watching the race, one is all obviously seeing it happen and getting a chance to go back and look at the video. If possible, we try to delegate the penalties in race. This is obviously going to hurt Gabriel Kahn right now, but if it was earlier in the race and a yellow could come out, he may get a chance to fight back. Today he's going to fall back to the tail of the field, but listen, incident responsibility, and that's the way it plays out. 10 laps down, 2 to go. And it is Majman out to a 0.6 of a second lead over his teammate Eddie Beswick. But Beswick just turned the fast lap of the race. The battle there, though, for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th is an epic one right now. It is Vergara, Weldon, Ayrton Connor Aspley up in there as well. Great run here for Connor. White flag will fly this next time by, so there is a sense of urgency for the drivers to cap off this weekend here. Look at this, 2x2. Garzone's getting attacked. Joao Vergara wants to be on the podium. It's been a rough weekend for Joao. He really needs to get on the podium in that VRD machine. You can see it. Big move up the inside there as well for Weldon. Lock up from the left front as he stacks them. This is going to give Garzone P3. Weldon goes to the front of that group. Eric, this last couple of laps are solid here right now. There's Garzone 3rd, Weldon 4th, but he's got the exclusive cars lining up, and another tremendous drive for Wesley Gudler for NV Motorsports. He's got himself up into 9th, maybe even 8th right now for Gudler.
This is the kind of battle that you want to see here in USF 2000. All-out fight for not only the title, but for each and every single race round throughout the weekend. The battles have been fantastic. Just not having a lot of opportunity for a lot of green flag runs this weekend, kind of compromising a little bit of the race effort here. But Pabst Racing loves this racetrack, home out of Oconomowoc. You know that this one's circled on the calendar every year.
Well, remember, they already have a win for Eddie Beswick. They've got the win for G3 Argyros. They've already got a 1-2 finish in round number 1 here of USF 2000 this weekend, as we potentially have a driver's off. Yeah, driver is spun coming out of turn 12, and it's backed it into the wall there as well. So a driver off in turn number 12. White flag's going to fly. Fight it out here, folks. This is the final lap. I would expect they may let them race all the way down to turn number 6. We'll see whether or not that driver may be able to refire and continue. But one of the drivers in the lead group there, in that, I think that battle from 3rd on back, there was contact. Eric, what do you think?
Looks like there's potentially a tire loose in the racetrack after the contact. So I would imagine they'll probably race back to a yellow at some point.
Yeah, they're going to let these guys race as long as they can here. And no, full course yellow now out. So that'll be it, folks. The race is over. A driver is off over in turn number 12. Actually, almost up into 13. So contact there on the penultimate lap brings out an early yellow flag, and Brad Majman will get that win that he has been looking for all weekend. Another Pabst Racing 1-2. Sebastian Garzone 3rd, Oliver Weldon 4th, Anthony Martella 5th. That was Connor Aspley. Connor was having such a fantastic drive, and he's the driver, I believe, who has not come back around. No, so Connor does come back around to put lap 11 in, but he did fall down to 16th. Liam Loiacono has not come around. So that's Loiacono, I think, off the racetrack there. What a weekend it's been. One to forget for Liam. Last year here in USF Juniors competition, Eric, he dominated and won all 3 races. It's been horrific all weekend long for Liam.
Yeah, and, you know, when you come into a weekend with a lot of confidence and then your weekend just kind of goes sideways from the beginning, you kind of want to take the weekend, crumple up the sheets and just get rid of them very quickly.
So I'm going to say very likely Liam and Connor battling it out, because I think Liam was running in 9th spot. Connor was right there in 7th or 8th. So very likely those two drivers battling it out in the final lap. Connor Aspley continues on and ends up in the 16th position here, while Liam Loiacono has not come back around. He will be officially classified in 19th. Brad Majman's going to get the win. They'll circulate around the track behind the pace car here for the final circuit. Beswick in 2nd. Garzone, another strong run to 3rd. Oliver Weldon 4th, Anthony Martella 5th, 6th Vergara, 7th Ayrton Kahn, 8th Wesley Gundler, 9th Grant Mitchell. What a great run for Grant, his debut weekend in USF 2000. The pace has been there all weekend. P9 for Grant and Vian Bossoff rounding out the top 10 for PFH Racing. Man, that was messy. That was the ugliest race we've had so far this year in USF 2000. Just a lot of messy racing. I'm going to put it down to drivers not respecting each other on the racetrack. You think about the contact with Evan Cooley on the first race. That's wheel-to-wheel contact on a straightaway. Unacceptable. Contact we saw with Thomas Nordqvist going off. Obviously, with this one here at the very end, more contact as well. You hate to see that, because driver respect, first and foremost, is key. And we just did not get that here today. So behind the pace car, Brad Majman's going to get his second win of the season. Victorious at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 38 points, I think, behind. He's going to gain a couple back, at least 8 points back. So it's going to be potentially a 30-point lead for Sebastian Garzon. But big for both Majman and Beswick. Both of those drivers gaining some points back on Sebastian Garzon. But, folks, this is unbelievable for this driver here. We're talking 9 races on the season for Garzon, 9 top 5 finishes. Unbelievable. It'll be his 7th podium, 3 race wins, and it's the success of the other drivers around him that has made him not that far out in front. You take that result back a couple of years, midway through the season, halfway through after 9 races with 18 in total, and you're only 30 points up. There's a lot of racing still to be done, but what a season so far for Sebastian Garzon.
Well, that says a lot to me about USF 2000 as a whole. Very healthy championship, with multiple different teams, multiple different drivers, all with the ability to run up front consistently too.
Exactly that. It's what I like is there are drivers that are stepping up midway through the season, right? Guys are battling. It was a great start for Garzon, but Majman stepping up, Beswick stepping up, Martella showing the pace. Same thing for Evan Cooley. It doesn't happen here today. And then, Oliver Weldon is really starting to pick things up here in USF 2000. So a solid 4th place finish for Oliver. That big run from the back of the pack to get himself up to where he was. Eric, I'll let you go through the order here and give the rundown for those following at home and those here trackside. I'm going to head to Victory Lane, and from there, I'm going to come straight back up. If I make it, I'll take care of driver introductions. If I don't, will you handle that for me?
I'll try.
I appreciate that, my friend. All right, down to Victory Lane, as we're going to get a chance to talk to Brad Majman and the other drivers on the podium.
Hey. Brad Majman, your winner here in USF 2000. Eddie Beswick finishing in the 2nd spot. Sebastian Garzon, your podium for D-Force Racing. So Pabst Racing, both are another top 2 steps to the podium sweep for Pabst Racing. For the 4th spot, Oliver Weldon. Anthony Martella will finish 5th. Joao Vergara will finish 6th. Ayrton Khan in the 7th spot. Wesley Gunder in the 46 will finish 8th. The 28 of Grant Mitchell will finish 9th. And Vian Bossoff in the top 10. Elias Vignola in 11th position. The 7 of Naeem Salah will finish 12th. The 87 of Leonardo Saravalli will finish 13th. 14th is Jack Morhart. Kaylee Countryman with a improvement from a starting position of 20th to 15th. Connor Aspley for Exclusive Autosport. Kind of a trio here that ended up in the back after some contact. Cole Medeiros and Gabriel Kahn. Liam Liacono. Thomas Dorquist, Lucas Nanji, Ryan Gianetta, Evan Cooley, and Callahan Peter. Matty Colloran did not start for Zanella Racing this weekend. Unfortunately, they were looking forward to getting Matty some track time this weekend, but unfortunately a late entry did not participate in any of the 3 rounds here for USF 2000. But Brad Majman gets a win for Pabst Racing. Eddie Beswick gets the bonus point for the fast lap. Brad Majman led all 12 laps at the start-finish line, and will get the bonus point for most laps led. But Sebastian Garzon continues that championship lead, still very tight with the end results here and top 5 finishes, all 9 rounds this season for Garzon. As Rob mentioned, it's just an incredibly impressive run for Garzon, taking the 11th starting position yesterday in race 2, getting up into the top 5, top 4 for example, just continuing to get points and look for opportunities to not put himself outside of the top 5 in any of the rounds this year. Pretty impressive season for D-Force Racing in that 12 machine for Sebastian Garzon. Coming up from Victory Lane, Rob Howden and our podiums, and then we'll get you started for our pre-race for USF Pro 2000 Championship. Welcome to Race Day Sunday. It is the USF Pro 2000 presented by Continental, part of the USF Pro Championships here at America's National Park of Speed. The Anderson Company's Grand Prix of Road America presented by Elite Engines, and we'll get those Elite Engines fired up in just a few moments' time. It is kind of an expected round this morning where G3 Argyros finally got a win for Pabst Racing in race number 1 yesterday, but Jack Jeffers comes up with a second spot on the starting grid. We'll get you your grid as well momentarily for USF Pro 2000, but talking about a lot of the racing, Frankie Mossman joined us in the booth yesterday as well. And we're going to go down to see if we can catch a little bit of the USF Pro or USF 2000 podium celebration. Rob Howden.
Eric, thank you so much. Down here in Victory Lane, we do have our pro drivers getting ready to go. So let's jump into the drivers working their way onto the podium here for the final USF 2000 race of the weekend. He's your point leader coming in, folks. This is 9 straight top 5 finishes. Put your hands together for my third place driver, Sebastian Garzone. Sebastian, I know you like being on the top. You like being P1, but another fantastic finish. That is 9 straight top 5s. Give me your thoughts on P3.
Well, first, I want to thank God, my team, to give me a really good car for the 3 races. This weekend was not my fault with the team. I did too much mistakes, but I will learn from them and try to do better in Mid-Ohio and try to get some wins.
Well done. Let's get that P3 trophy in here. Sean Cassell going to help me out with that one. Thank you, Sean. The Castle's helping us out here. Great stuff. We got some fantastic guests from the USF Pro Championships with us here this weekend. Driver coming home in second. This is another Pabst Racing 1-2. He won race number 1, P2 here in race number 3. Put your hands together for Eddie Beswick, P2. Eddie, when you're in a championship battle, you always got to try to beat the guy who's the point leader. And you guys got that done. You closed up a little bit. Talk about your second place finish today.
Yeah, pretty good. Obviously, from race 1 and 2, we know he had a fast car, and starting a little bit further up and on the inside was always good. So I just had to pick him off one by one and make sure to finish in front of Tatan.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Eddie Beswick, folks, finishing in second spot. Kendra Castle is going to bring in that P2 trophy for us. Kendra, thank you so much. Great job for Eddie, for sure. The points are stacking up there. This is tight, folks, in this category. We're halfway through. This driver finished second in both of the first 2 races this weekend. The frustration, you saw it on the podium. He wanted that race win. Gets it done today. Winning for Pabst Racing, Brad Majman. A little happier today, Brad, than you were yesterday. I know you were battling hard, a couple of second-place finishes, but a victory. Very sweet here today.
Yeah, that was real good. A couple close seconds yesterday, so I thought I'd have to get one eventually, right? Well, eventually, but I thought I'd get one with how quick our car's been. So yeah, really happy. Nailed the restarts, which was good. Made it a bit easier that a lot of the race was under caution, but got a good jump, good lap 1, and then controlled the restarts quite well, and it was a pretty smooth race.
Anybody you want to thank today?
Yeah, like Shaw and Partners, A14, or Mr. Servia, what's the names? Kart Class, J&D, and then say hi to Mum, Dad, Jake, Sienna. I'm sure they're probably still up. And thanks to everyone for coming to watch.
Congratulations, well done.
Thanks.
Brad Majman, folks. Milton Ramirez is going to come in here, provide that P1 trophy on a fantastic Father's Day. We obviously wish everyone here, the fathers, a happy Father's Day trackside. And, of course, as you think you all know, when it comes to racing, the parents are such a huge part of these young drivers' career. Father's Day, Mother's Day, big days for us here at the racetrack. And indeed, I hope all the fathers have a fantastic and enjoyable day here at Road America on a beautiful Sunday. Brad Majman coming back yesterday talked about the fact that those restarts are always tough when you're the leader. He was able to actually fend off, and we had a bunch of restarts with all the yellows we had in that race, all the carnage. The battles behind him kind of allowed him to be able to stretch away. So those restarts he was worried about in race number 1 and 2 did not play out as he comes away with that victory that has eluded him so far here this weekend. Another big week, big race here for the local team, Pabst Racing, another 1-2 here as well. They've got a chance to potentially get their 4th win of the weekend, having won yesterday in Pro 2000 as well with G3 Argyros. But again, these drivers in Pro getting set to go. Still about 6 minutes away until we fire the engines on pit lane for the drivers in Pro 2000, but the race coming up to cap off our weekend here. Getting the hat dance rolling here as well, getting all the drivers with what we need. Champagne's coming out ready to fly as we ready to cap things off here in USF 2000. After the champagne, I'll throw it back up to Eric Miller in the control booth. Folks, they got the champagne. Boys, grip it and rip it. Let's celebrate the final USF 2000 race of the day. Brad Majman coming away with the race win. 3 different victors in USF 2000. Eddie Beswick, Anthony Martella, and Brad Majman all scoring wins here this weekend at Road America. One more still to come. Back up to Eric Miller in the booth. Pro 2000 up next.
Thank you, Rob Howden. We are on a little bit of a start hold. Target now for start engines coming up at 8:56, so about 6 minutes away from right now for USF Pro, USF 2000. Podium celebrations concluded for the weekend here at America's National Park of Speed. Welcome, race fans, to the National Park of Speed for a great Sunday race day. Beautiful conditions. Temperatures slowly starting to rise with some cloudy skies yet this afternoon, but some blue skies ahead as well. 65 degrees now here in the area with a 74% humidity. So it's going to be a little sticky here in Wisconsin. That's going to be a lot of different track conditions. We really haven't had a lot of humidity this weekend yet for these drivers here in USF Pro 2000. Starting in row 8 for VRD Racing, the 11 of Colin Aitken alongside JT Hoskins for J. Howard Driver Development, powered by ECR. In row 7, Joshua Alenel for TJ Speed Motorsports alongside Turn 3 Motorsports, Sebastian Manson in the 22 on row 7. In row 6, Michael Costello in the 2 for Turn 3 Motorsports with their teammate Tyke Durst in the 3, starting in 11th position. Joey Brienza for Exclusive Autosport will start on the outside of row 5. On the inside, Teddy Musella for VRD Racing in the 25 machine will start 9th. In row 4, Thomas Schrag for TJ Motorsports, all exclusive row there for TJ Speed Motorsports alongside teammate Christian Cameron. In row 3, VRD Racing's Frankie Mossman. You heard him on race 2 of the USF 2000 race call yesterday. Frankie looking to improve his 6th starting position moving forward. Pabst Racing's Mayor Dionarine will start on the inside of row 3. Andres Cardenas for J. Howard Driver Development, powered by ECR, will start outside row 2. Starting in 3rd, Leonardo Escaprioni for Turn 3 Motorsports. And then looking at your front row, Jack Jeffers for Exclusive Autosport, and a winner yesterday in race number 1 for Pabst Racing out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. G3 Argyros will be your pole sitter in the number 18 in race number 2 of the weekend for USF Pro 2000. This is the final USF Pro Championship round of the weekend for this Anderson Company's Grand Prix of Road America, presented by Elite Engines. We'll get those Elite Engines started coming up in about 3 minutes or so at 8:56. The story of the day, though, yesterday was Pabst Racing. G3 Argyros had quite the battle up front and was able to kind of dice through a little bit of traffic to get out to the front for Pabst Racing and picking up that first win here in USF Pro. And we'll let Rob Howden gather his breath after sprinting from the podium celebrations from the previous round. But we're just talking, Rob, about G3 Argyros navigating traffic a little bit yesterday and coming away with that first win.
Definitely huge for G3. You know, every one of these young drivers as a rookie coming up to the program wanting to get that first win, wanting to break through. And to do it here at Road America, the home of Pabst Racing, massive for that young driver. And Eric, we've seen it many times before. You win that first race, sometimes the floodgates open and you start winning a bunch of races. So I guarantee G3 is going to roll into this weekend high with confidence, this race rather, brimming with confidence. This could be an opportunity for him to potentially stretch away. He's got the point leader Jack Jeffers right beside him as well. That's kind of a key program. Jeffers now with a 14-point lead over Michael Costello coming into the race. So indeed, work to be done for sure for the drivers trying to chase down Jack Jeffers.
You know, and Jeffers again with making the move up into USF Pro, along with G3 Argyros. The Exclusive Autosports program is certainly well developed, and Jeffers having a pretty solid season thus far with that points lead. But with that win yesterday, G3 Argyros certainly putting a little bit of pressure now on Jeffers as well. Jeffers has got to make sure he's got a clean day.
Again, he's got lots of pace in the car, too. He was not happy, made a couple mistakes on the racetrack yesterday and vowed to come back and get it done here today. So looking forward to what should be just a tremendous battle in this particular category, because the drivers we have up front, Jeffers a race winner already. A Scorpione's already been a race winner. Remember, Jeffers and the Scorpione, USF 2000 champion and USF Juniors champion, respectively, from last year. These guys know how to win races. Andres Cardenas, the Peruvian for Jay Howard's, waiting for that first breakout win as well. He qualified on the pole for race 1. There's a lot of pace in that car, too. And then, again, talked about G3 Argyros, the driver who's ready to step things up. Argyros and Jeffers, row 1. Scorpione, Cardenas, row 2. Deonorine and Mossman, row 3. Cameron and Schrag, row 4. Martella and Brienza, row 5. Durst alongside Costello on row 6. Manson and Lionel on row 7. Hoskins and Aiken on row 8. So indeed, getting things ready to roll here right now, folks, as we have all 16 drivers down on pit lane. Time to fire things up with the call to fire. Again, great to have a bunch of our guests from the USF Pro Championships here with us this weekend. We've had them, of course, down helping us pass out awards in Victory Lane. We'll do that again here in about 40 minutes' time when these drivers wrap things up as well. But it is time again to go back down to pit lane. We got a dual group down there right now to provide the command to fire engines. It will be Lindsey Burke and Brody Deshane with the call to fire.
Drivers, start your engines!
Love the energy all weekend long. It's been fantastic. All of the USF Pro Championship starts have been fantastic.
I'm talking about, right?
A lot of energy this weekend.
We're excited about this. Let's roll. Hopefully they had a bunch of coffees to start the day. Very likely on a caffeine high, which is good. We'll take it. It is a gorgeous day here, folks. Again, I talk about my little sprint back from Victory Lane here up into the booth. It is warm, and as you know, I love this part of the weekend because, of course, a lot of people here trackside camping, but the people are starting to file in, right? All the IndyCar shirts you see rolling in, all the fans coming in. This place is going to be jam-packed when Indy Next and IndyCar get on track here today. Excited, always a massive weekend here. Drivers pulling off the racetrack or the pit lane rather to get things underway. And indeed, for this category, the championship still brewing. We've got lots of racing still to come. As we talked about 2 weeks from now, we're at Mid-Ohio. We've got the run out to Portland. We've got the streets of Markham, Ontario, the Milwaukee Mile, and then we'll be back here at Road America for our finale. Triple header for all 3 series at the end of September. So there's so much racing still to be done. $1.6 million in cash and awards up for grabs this year, and obviously focused on those scholarships. Each driver who wins a championship here in the USF Pro Championships program finds himself or herself with a scholarship to move to the next level. Majority of the budget to get to the next level coming from that scholarship, and that's always been Dan Anderson, the COO of our program, CEO rather, of our program, the founder and the owner of the USF 2000 program, USF Pro Championships, always focused on trying to help these young drivers. And Eric, that's been the key. Like, you think about the history of this program, now 17 years of racing, guys like Kyle Kirkwood, Kristen Rasmussen, they may not be an IndyCar if not for the scholarships that they won all the way up through the ranks.
Well, it's not only the scholarships, but I think if you look at the portfolio of those drivers that have graduated from this program, they're very marketable, they're very well-spoken, and they take care of their sponsors, great fan engagement. Exactly. And that's all the things that these drivers learn here with the USF Pro Championships.
Yeah, we had a fantastic autograph session, 2 of them actually yesterday for Pro and USF 2000. A ton of fans came out for that. And again, that's the opportunity for these 15, 16, 17-year-old drivers to understand what it's like to interact with the fans, to chat with the people that hopefully they're going to be following them for the last many years. Anytime we have an autograph session, I always say, would you have gone back now knowing that it would have been a Kirkwood or a Pato Award or a David Malukas or whoever would have been part of that autograph session to get that autograph hero card for the collection early on, because that's something you can't go back and get. So those autograph sessions, so great for the fans, and I know that the drivers absolutely cherish them as well. They love getting a chance to interact with all the race fans.
You know, I always do this with a lot of autograph sessions. Obviously, here at Road America, we've got a lot of fan walks, grid walks over the course of our racing season. But I always say, find somebody that you may not know and go ahead and talk to them, get an autograph from them. You just never know who you're going to be able to follow for their entire career. You know, I think about that, Pato Award as well.
Yeah.
Drivers that clearly have an affinity for taking care of the fans. We've last year here, just a story about Pato was he was coming up into the tower, and there was a young man, probably about 7-8 years old, and wasn't looking for an autograph, but Pato stopped him and said, "Hey, did you have fun this weekend? Thanks for coming. Would you like me to stop for a picture?" And it was just that moment. But those are the things that these drivers can do to kind of build fans for life, and that's what continues to grow the sport. Rising tide raises all ships, right? But that's part of the coaching and certainly the learn ask that these owners are looking for.
And Eric, those little moments are the ones that create memories. Those are the ones that create fans as well, right? So indeed, field set, and we are about to go racing. G3 Argyros on the pole alongside Jack Jeffers, Leonardo Scorpioni, and Andres Cardenas on row number 2. 4 different teams in the top 4. Pabst Racing, Exclusive Autosport, Turn 3 Motorsports, and Jay Howard Driver Development, powered by ECR. 16 driver field, rolling out of 13, out of 14. It is time to go racing. 45-minute time limit. We got 15 laps of competition for you. The last race of 5 here for the USF Pro Championships. They'll work their way up the hill. It is time to get things underway. Field looks good. 2x2, 8 rows deep. Green, green, green. Big jump for Cardenas. He'll quickly go out to driver's left. Jeffers trying to see if he can't slot in behind Argyros to get that run down into the corner. He's going to have to move to the outside. Jeffers going to try to pinch through, and they will zipper nicely in through turn number 1 as Jeffers able to slot in behind G3 Argyros. The man on the move early there trying to attack was Cardenas. Where does he go to? He's on the inside P5, so I think potentially Mossman jumping up. He and a Scorpioni into the fight there as well. We had Frankie Mossman in the booth. Eric and I did yesterday. Had a good chance to talk with him, and he had a really good feel of confidence going into today, looking for that first USF Pro 2000 win. Jeffers is going to go immediately at Argyros. Jeffers to the outside, braking zone. They'll go side by side, and Jeffers has to give it up a little bit. Not quite deep enough. Eric, if you're going to get that job done, you got to almost have half a car length to be able to get through and around the outside.
Part of that is just staying visible and maybe a little bit of a squeeze to kind of slow that inside line up just enough to be able to shoot the gap to the outside. But carrying all that momentum on the exit is really difficult to do out of 5.
Big defense there for a Scorpioni down the inside at turn number 8, trying to hold everybody at bay. They'll come back on and settle in. Very difficult to go too wide with speed through the carousel. They normally slot in. The driver on the outside just able to hold that run. Good job there coming out. That might have been Mayor de Honorine, but they're settling in now finally. At least we'll go single file through the kink. The drivers understand it's a one-by-one line through there. If you're going to try to go too wide on the outside, you're going to be in trouble. Drivers out front trying to stretch away a bit. G3 Argyros, strong opening lap, challenged early by Jack Jeffers, but right now those two drivers settling in P1 and P2.
Talked about that pass attempt on the exit of 5 on the outside for Jeffers. If that was a right-hand corner at the top of 6, that's a great move because you position yourself inside for the next corner.
Exactly.
Because it's another left-hander, he's obviously got the long way around. It's really difficult to pull that off.
Front 3 drivers separating themselves a little bit here on the opening lap. Argyros, Jeffers, and it's a Scorpioni up into the 3rd position. Across the line, Frankie Mossman 4th, Cardenas 5th, Thomas Schrag 6th, Mayor de Honorine 7th, Christian Cameron 8th, Joey Brienza 9th, and Michael Costello gets a couple of spots here on the opening circuit. Started 12th. He gets himself up into 10th right now, and I think almost like damage control for Costello this weekend, Eric, because you remember, comes into the race here, 2nd place in points, had that win of the Freedom 90 at IRP. 14 points back of Jeffers, is trying to do the best he can to score some points here before we head on to Mid-Ohio.
And the way that he's kind of been mired back mid-pack, it's been really difficult for him to get those points to stack, as we've talked about how important that is. And Jeffers continuing to have that front row start and an opportunity to stay out of trouble on this round 2 of the USF Pro 2000 Championship at Road America. Costello's kind of in damage control right now. He's got to score as much as he possibly can to even stay within that catch range.
100%. Keep clawing your way forward. He's got a couple of spots. He's doing a great job. The battle, I'll tell you, folks, outside that top 8, even outside the top 10, the fight at the back here. Look at these guys going too wide. Is a scrap with Colin Aiken, JT Hoskins, Joshua Leonel, Tyke Durst. These guys are elbows up here early on in this 15-lapper for USF Pro 2000. Right now, I'll say this right now, our Pro 2000 drivers getting out to the gate the way we wanted to. The USF 2000 drivers very messy. You and I talked about it yesterday that we kind of expect more from the drivers in Pro. They've been through many levels of our program. Some of them starting in juniors, working their way up. They know how to get around. They're the experienced drivers, and we expect more in terms of on-track respect and racecraft.
And they even had a little bit of trouble in their race yesterday as well in race 1, very early in the going. And I think a lot of that has to do with you've been on the track 2 or 3 sessions a day, and then all of a sudden you're just kind of one session today for USF Pro 2000 yesterday. So sitting idle hands, idle minds a little bit. So there's a little bit more adrenaline getting that race started. Here they've been on the racetrack early morning. A little bit more calm, cool, and collected to start the day.
Awesome fight brewing for third, and Andres Cardenas has gone into the third spot. Cardenas for Jay Howard, reeling in Leonardo Scorpioni, and he made a move to get around the outside. In race 1 was very quick, but he talked to me on the podium, said he kind of used the tires up a little bit. There was not much left at the end there for Cardenas. We'll see how he does here, as he has worked his way into third. He just turned the fast lap of the race last time by very early in a 15-lapper. As you see, a great shot here of the drivers coming down into 5. Does he have the pace to potentially reel in the leaders? Jeffers most definitely has reeled in Argyros last time by a couple of tenths of a second quicker. Jeffers up on the wheel trying to see if he can't grab another race win. It's been a good start to the season for Jack Jeffers. He's got a couple of wins, one at Arlington, one at the road course at Indianapolis, but would love to bag one here at Road America to stretch that point lead heading to Mid-Ohio.
Working lap 3 of 15 here for the USF Pro Championship. Of course, with Argyros, that lead was just over a half a second over Jeffers last time through. But Cardenas with the fast lap of the race thus far, early here in the going. But those bonus points, critical in the championship too.
I'm watching Cardenas right now coming through Kettle Bottoms. Look how much closer he is to that lead group. He's been able to put at least 2 or 3 car lengths on a Scorpioni already. Andres Cardenas thinking about his first victory. The Peruvian, who making his debut in North America here this weekend. Euro Cup 3 experience. Had a chance to chat with him, talking about how he kind of started thinking about potentially coming to North America, and talking about during COVID watching old Indianapolis 500s and saying, I think I want to try to race in that race. So it didn't immediately come to North America, but it was always in the back of his mind that maybe that's a place he'd like to race. Was able to hook up with Jay Howard this year. Has had some decent races for sure. He was 9th place in points coming in. No doubt in my mind he's moved up a couple. Where are we? Let's have a look at the standings right now. Cardenas now up into 6th. Yeah, 91 points. He's still 39 points out of the lead, but you start picking up some pace mid-season and clawing your way back. There's a possibility to be in the championship fight when we get back here to Road America in September.
When we talk about the ladder system for the USF Pro Championships, about how they are, at this level, 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. More ovals kind of coming into the mix now. Adding Milwaukee, I think, is going to be a lot of fun.
We've always had the the night before the 500, and now called the Carbonite Classic on Friday evening at Indianapolis Raceway Park. But that's a 5/8 mile oval. You're not going to put an Indy car on that. Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity for the USF 2000 drivers to get a feel for it. But we've always had a second oval for drivers in USF Pro 2000. It's been Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway in the past. Not able to get on that date, but there was an opening at the Milwaukee Mile, so a proper mile-long road course. We're going to test there tomorrow, and I'm really interested. I think on new tires, we're going to be flat out all the way around that racetrack, so it is going to be fantastic. And this battle is starting to heat up. Cardenas continues to close on Jeffers. It's a couple of car lengths now at the end of the back straightaway, and we're only going to put lap 4 in the books here. This is a 15-lapper. There's a long way to go. Cardenas, 2:02.425 as he keeps pushing here now. Good stuff for Cardenas to potentially fight his way into the lead. You see the shots around the racetrack. You see the cars coming in. The fans continue to roll in here as well. Great time slot here for the USF Pro 2000 guys. IndyCar teams all rolling in as well, so we'll have a side ear listening to the PA and find out who's up front here in this category. We had Mike Shank join us via Zoom call during our spring training event at Homestead back in February. All the drivers in a essentially a seminar. Mike came on, talked about what he looks for in a driver, what he thinks is important, and mentioned with the fact, hey, we want to hear drivers win in races. He goes, a lot of times we can't get out to the pit wall to watch it. We're listening to PA. They're listening to Mike's like, I'm listening to Rob on the PA. I want to find out who's winning races. And right now, what's he hearing? He's hearing G3 Argyros. He's hearing Jack Jeffers. He's hearing Leonardo Scorpioni. Maybe even this weekend it could be Andres Cardenas. But the drivers up front are the guys that the team owners are watching for certain.
And it's not only about wins too, but how they interact with the team, the engineering, feedback. That's also part of the critical development for these series drivers.
Yeah, feedback's a big thing. Once a driver gets into a camp, or they can do as much prospecting as they can, but once they get a young driver into the program, maybe a test day, and get a chance to see what kind of feedback, where is the language, where's the communication level from a young driver? Can they feel? Is it a seat of your pants feel? Do they work good with an engineer? That's something you learn the whole time, and it starts in karting because, to be honest, these young kids, anywhere from 5 to 13, when they're in their junior cadet and junior karting days, they're working with a mechanic. They're sitting down and going over data with their coach. They're looking at video. It starts early, and if they understand and start to really get a chance to have that communication, it's going to be something that parlays all the way through, all the way up to IndyCar.
Not only that, but the working knowledge of how the race car operates, what it needs, what it feels like. Making a small change going out in a test session and saying, okay, that gave me 3/10. Why did it give me 3/10? It allowed me to turn in a little bit earlier. It allowed me to turn in a little bit later. That's all the feedback that those teams are looking for.
Maybe a pass for P4. Look at that battle behind the top three. That is Frankie Mossman. Indeed, he comes around and sweeps from drivers left to right. Book it. Frankie Mossman goes to P4 with a fantastic pass on Leonardo Scorpioni. So Mossman now to the lead of that group. Scorpioni behind him. Thomas Schrag and Christian Cameron, the two TJ Speed Motorsport drivers, running 6th and 7th. Right there on a Scorpioni. Let's see if Christian Cameron's got something to attack here. Cameron up on the wheel. Front three drivers, though, checking out a little bit here with Argyros, Jeffers, and Cardenas. This is the battle right there for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Top two drivers, Argyros and Jeffers, turning their fastest laps that last time by. They gapped a little bit. 4/10 back to Cardenas. You can see a little bit of a gap, not much. Bigger gap back to 4th. So the front three, the potential podium, the provisional podium, is running away here right now, but still so much racing to go. Working lap number 6, Eric. It feels like this is going to be an extra long race. I know we did 12 laps, but a lot of them under yellow with USF 2000, but I feel like we've already been racing for a lot here in Pro, and we're just getting started.
Well, not only that, but I think here everybody's settled down into a rhythm. We had a good start, good clean start all the way through the first couple of laps. Now everybody's got heat in the tires. This aero package is one that the toe is going to be important, so you kind of find a comfortable spot. And realistically, we talked to Frankie a little bit about how he felt kind of the tires were going away by about lap 12 of 15, where the tire deg itself is really plays into how the end of these races end up finishing.
Yep.
But right now everybody's in a rhythm, maybe saving a little bit of those Continental tires, ready to go race hard a little bit, push a little bit harder at the last couple of laps.
I'll give you two things. We've had a lot of testing here. We were here for a 2-day test last week. We tested on Thursday as well with 2 45-minute sessions. Guarantee these teams all did race simulations. They did a 15-lap run to see how the tires were going to be over 15 laps. The interesting thing, what Frankie told us yesterday, we asked about IndyCar rubber. Normally when we go out after IndyCar, the track changes all weekend long for these drivers, because one time they're out there and the track's green, the next time after Indy next and IndyCar, all of a sudden there's tons of rubber. It's the temperature and the humidity that changes it. He talked about the fact, Frankie did, that when it's cooler, he said it's the most grip he's ever had in the car. Oftentimes, if it's an 85, 90-degree day, when you get out, it's not extra grip. It's greasy as heck. You're coming over top of that Firestone rubber, and it's really greasy. Yesterday, a lot of grip. And we're not even to 65 degrees here trackside, so I'm thinking grip level probably pretty high. What will that do to tire degradation, as you had mentioned?
Well, a lot of that is obviously the rubber not necessarily compatible. Different compounds themselves, they don't necessarily bond like you'd think they would. So they start to peel up a little bit of rubber too when the temperature gets a little bit warmer. That's not occurring, so we're not seeing as many marbles this weekend. I think even in IndyCar and Indy Next sessions this weekend, I don't think we've really necessarily had as many marbles on the outside as we've traditionally seen here.
And remember, too, the cars and the setups are just starting to come into the window right now. For those of you at home or maybe trackside, these cars are not fun to drive over the first 3, 4, 5 laps because the tire pressures are set low. It's going to take a while for the heat to come in to get them where they need to be. So first couple laps, the car's going to be maybe a little bit diabolical. It's up to the driver to kind of hold on. But once those tire pressures get up to where they want them to be, the heat in those tires hit that kind of optimal window, then the car starts getting a little more confident, right? You can place it in different spots. So that's what we're getting to right now, closing in on the halfway point. It'll be 7 down, 8 to go when they come back around. Cardenas starting to close back up here as the top 3 drivers all going green on the last lap. Their personal best of the run. That's why I kind of wanted to reiterate that the cars are starting to get good. This time, no. Nobody going quicker on this lap. Last lap was the best, lap number 7. Cardenas looking to the inside of Jeffers. Here comes Andres Cardenas now. He is closed up, and he not only is looking at Jeffers, but he's looking one driver forward. He's trying to get to Archuros. Cardenas wants that first race win. Jay Howard Driver Development has done that here before. We've known the drivers who've come through that team, most notably Christian Rasmussen, having won in both USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000 with Jay Howard Driver Development. I just don't think we're done here with the battle up front. Andre Cardenas is hungry for a race win. He will not settle for P3, and we still got a half a race still to go.
I was just going to say, thinking the same thing. We're just halfway here in this 15 lap of Anderson Company's Grand Prix Road America, powered by Elite Engines. But again, talking with Logan Knapp earlier in the season when you guys were at St. Pete, messaged to each other back and forth a little bit on Facebook. But self-serving, but good luck today for those guys. But how about the reliability of these Elite engines? They're just unbelievably fantastic.
Well, the concept for Elite engines, again, remember, folks, all of the engines we have, sometimes almost 70 engines on track, and we have all 3 series at the same track. They're all essentially built, race prepped here in Wisconsin, in West Bend. And it's Steve and his son Logan Knapp that do the work on these engines. The concept is to hit, we have that mark. We're looking for 250 horsepower out of these particular cars. We've changed the RPM level, the soft limiter, a couple of years ago, which gave the engine a little bit more. But they build every engine so that it comes into a window. They dyno it, so every engine's plus or minus this when it heads out to the teams. And the concept is, our USF Juniors engines last forever, right? That's what they're designed to do. USF 2000, pretty much the same, just no restrictor. USF Pro, a little more of a race motor, let's be real. So they don't last. They're not quite as reliable as Juniors and USF 2000 because they're a full-on race motor. But that's what propels us to these fast laps, 4 seconds faster than USF 2000. The idea is to keep going quicker and quicker. But listen, these guys put in the work, they put in the time. All those engines. And remember, there's 70 engines on the racetrack on a weekend. There's probably another 70 or 80 or 100 in the inventory. Teams have backups. These guys have a ton of engines that they work on throughout the year to make sure the power goes to the road for all of our drivers in this program.
Working lap 9 now, and Argyros continues to lead every single lap here from the point, from the get-go. And yesterday, you could just kind of see a little bit of relief on his face on the podium. There was definitely, I think, some self-doubts, but no question, he had put together a fantastic race yesterday.
Best battle on the racetrack right now is between Leonardo Scorpioni and Frankie Mossman. Mossman made a move up the inside of turn number 6 to take that spot away. But you're right, Argyros out front, the confidence is high, able to get that race win. He always was pushing hard. He came so close early in the season, had some pace. Really good off-season testing. He was brimming with confidence coming into the season. And right there, leading lap number 8, means that that's another bonus point as well. Most laps led. 33 points up for grabs in any race for the drivers here in our program. 30 points for a race win, 1 point for the pole, 1 for most laps led, and 1 for your fastest race lap. So at this point, the fastest race lap belongs to Frankie Mossman. Most laps led to G3 Argyros. He's got the bonus point for the pole as well. We'll see what happens with first, second, and third. Those obviously still up for grabs. Eric Cardenas was putting some pressure on, but he's fallen back a little bit. Last time by, lost about a half a tenth to Jeffers. Jeffers was, again, a little bit off of a couple tenths off of Argyros as well. So we'll see whether or not, if Cardenas slips back a little bit and gets a little bit more of a gap, you think that Jeffers will be able to turn it up and put his focus forward? Yeah, he's closing back up to Argyros here.
Well, Jeffers just went purple. So to your point, yes, he's got the pace to push.
And on cue. Right? Yeah.
Like we actually know what we're talking about occasionally.
Let's not deal in lies and assumptions. I'll tell you this, though. Yeah, Jeffers laying down that lap. I talked about the fact, did he have a couple relaxed laps? Did he take care of the tires a little bit? Again, tire management on this particular racetrack, it is a long one, as we know, 4 miles in length. Check out this battle further back. I love the fact that we've got some pretty good races going on here. This is the fight we've got right now. This is this is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, I believe, all scrapping it out there. Back up to the top of the hill. Scorpione's been able to go back by again on Frankie Mossman. Look at this battle. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Not quite 10th. His 10th spot now is Sebastian Manson trying to work his way in there, but right at the tail of that group, running in that 9th position is Joey Brienza in the IU Kelly School of Business machine for Exclusive Autosport, last year's USF 2000 Rookie of the Year. Joey Brienza coming into this particular race, digging for some points here and work himself back up into the top 10 potentially. But that's a good battle. I like the fact that we've got some good scraps further back. And it's been really the primary battling in here has been that fight between Mossman and Scorpione, but Schrag, Martella, I think Marcella's got a spot there too. He may have went by Thomas Schrag.
You know, with that battle for the 4th and 5th kind of getting tight, bringing the rest of the pack back to them.
That's it. The guys in the back closing back in. Again, there's a fight there. A little back. The back there is Cameron and Marcella. So I think it's kind of Mossman and Scorpione. Schrag seems to be in the middle. In fact, no, Schrag's gone by. I think Schrag got by there as well. Scorpione, I think, up into 4th. Yeah, Scorpione goes to 4th, Schrag to 5th. Thomas Schrag on it here right now for TJ Speed. Good scrap, but he's closing up on a Scorpione. Christian Cameron coming across the bow as well of Teddy Basella in turn number 1. So we got some VRD drivers, we got some TJ Speed drivers, and up front there, the driver everybody's trying to chase down is turn 3 Motorsports Leonardo Scorpione. 10 laps down, 5 to go. Argyros, Jeffers, Cardenas, top 3. Those are the drivers that are pulling away. We're keying a little bit here on this great scrap for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Oh, there's some side-by-side action there between Marcella and Cameron. A little hip check coming down into turn 5. You know, Eric, you mentioned at one point that it feels like the drivers are cruising around a little bit. I feel like this group, the cruising has stopped. I think we're going at it now. It's all-out war here to the end.
Well, as the fuel burn comes off as well, these cars are going to get plenty of grip, a little bit lighter on the touch. Certainly able to kind of put your head down, elbows up a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little elbows out as we start getting towards the end.
We had saw Jack Jeffers closing up a little bit here on G3 Argyros, but he's fallen back a little bit again, back to about a half a second. One of the things with these cars, the wings on the USF Pro 2000 car significantly more intricate and producing more downforce than USF 2000. And drivers always complaining about the aero wash. You know, you get behind someone coming through the carousel, you feel like you're there, and all of a sudden the front end starts washing out. You got to put more wheel into it because you're losing the air off the front wing. Oftentimes you'll see a driver on the carousel maybe go a half a width out to try to get some air over the left front of the wing. But that's what you're always complaining about. I'm closing. I think I had them, but then through turn 1 you carry so much speed, aero washed, and I'm way on the outside of the racetrack.
But how do you correct that aero wash? Sometimes you have to pedal out.
That's it.
And what it does is it takes the load off the back of the car. You get a little unsettled, and you drop a couple of tenths just because you've got to pedal out and you lose a little bit of that momentum.
Almost contact there coming through turn number 1 in that battle we're talking about for 4th, 5th, and 6th with Scorpione, Schrag, and Mossman. Schrag looked like he was on the outside there. Mossman may have been able to get down to the inside of that corner. Schrag looked like almost contact with a Scorpione, and he was definitely a full car width wider coming through 1. Lots of runoff there, but it's not the fastest way around if you're missing that apex. Here's a good shot of how much of a lead that the front trio has. The Scorpione has pulled away a little bit here. The best battle on the racetrack, maybe Teddy Martella versus Christian Cameron, and that's the fight for 7th and 8th. Cameron, I think, able to get back by and hold the spot. Actually, no, I think Marcella's by. It's now Brienza putting the pressure here on Christian Cameron. Tough day for Michael Costello, currently running in the 11th position. Remember, came in here into the weekend sitting 2nd place in points, still has that spot, but only 2 ahead of his teammate Leonardo Scorpione, only 5 ahead of Frankie Mossman, and 14 behind Jack Jeffers. And Costello just hasn't had that much pace here. He's down in 11th. Jack Jeffers with the fast lap. Eric had mentioned that earlier. Came on lap number 9, just a couple laps ago. Half a second lead now for Argyros. In that fight we saw for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, kind of gapping up a little bit here now. There's the lead. A lot of gap there as well. I'm sure these guys are going to be complaining about Aero Wash if we get a chance to talk to them on the podium.
Coming to 3 laps to go for G3, Argyros, Jack Jeffers, Andres Cardenas. And that gap last time through was just about 51 hundredths up to 53 hundredths. So Argyros adds about 2 hundredths to that lead.
He'll be happy as well, Eric. He just set his fastest lap, 2:02.093. And again, when the mechanics and the engineers sit down, like, okay, here's the tire pressure we're going to go with. This is what we want. Because I want that car. I want it to be the best it can be near the end of the race. And that, again, we always talk about the fact the car's not going to be great for the drivers over the opening couple laps, but when it starts coming in at the end of the race, it gives the drivers so much confidence. You know, he's going to come across the line. He's going to know he just laid down a 2:02 flat. He knows the pace is there. He's doing whatever he can to hold off Jack Jeffers. Jeffers always wants that race win, but man, you know these drivers have gone back, looked at the statistics. What's the average finish that you need to win a championship, right? They look at what Max Garcia did, Lockie Hughes, Miles Rowe, and the other drivers who have won championships in this category over the years. Is it a 2.5? Is it a 3.5? What kind of average finish do I need to put together to be able to come away with a championship? It's like the version of Moneyball, right? It's not about stacking up those wins. It's, man, if my average finish is 2.5, do I statistically win the championship? That's going to be in their mind when they're on the racetrack.
You know, the worst part about that, doing that math too, is that's only what you can control. You can't control what anybody else does, and if everybody else is on the same page, just like we saw in USF 2000, that championship is 30 points, but there's 5 or 6 drivers that are within striking distance.
Yeah, and again, they're going to have to try to chip away. Sebastian Garzon, come on, 9 straight top 5 finishes. Unbelievable for Garzon. After, I would say, a little bit of a messy rookie year. He won the Lucas Oil School of Racing back in 2024, made his debut last year in USF 2000, and like many drivers, just wasn't kind of able to harness that enthusiasm. The opening was there, and he went for it. In fact, I think here in one of the races, last lap, he may have went for a move in turn 14, climbed over top of a driver. You know, you're coming to the checkered flag with whatever it was, a 5th place finish, 6th, and you maybe an overzealous move in 14, as you know, so hard to pass. Probably would have got repassed anyways, but kind of threw it away. He's not making mistakes like that. He has been picture perfect here as a sophomore. And that's a lot of the times you and I talk a lot about our program being a 2-year deal, right? You're a rookie the first year, learn the car, figure out the pace, this car at this track. You come back the next year and go for the championship. Sebastian Garzon showing how the maturity levels change from year to year.
Well, and not only that, but the coachability. You can understand that he's getting that coaching feedback from his team, you know, and absorbing information and being a sponge, drawing it all in, and then putting those skills and putting that product back on the racetrack. Yeah, just being smart.
D-Force Racing knows how to win championships. They've got 2 USF Juniors championships. They won the USF 2000 a couple of years ago with Kiko Porto. They know how to win championships. It's a fantastic operation. They're thrilled right now that they've got Sebastian where they want him to be to potentially come away with the title. 2 laps remaining. This one is taken away as Argyro still leads, turns his fastest lap again on lap number 13. Everything going right. Are we really going to see 4 wins for Pabst Racing on the home racetrack? What a party it'll be in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. They'll be ready to rock things up. Argyro's trying to go back-to-back 2 different winners for Pabst in USF 2000 as both Eddie Beswick and Brad Majman able to score wins. Argyro's trying to see if he can't win 2 here at Road America to put his name firmly back into the championship discussion. Jack Jeffers, a tremendous drive here in second. Trying to do what he needs to do to keep the points going. He'd lose a little bit to Argyro's, but not by much. G3's down in 5th, but he'd gain a ton on Costello and a Scorpione. White flag flying this time by. This is it. 1 to go. Final lap of a fantastic weekend here at Road America for the USF Pro Championships. We got a couple of fights on our hand. Cardenas still pushing on Jeffers, but it may be the scrap right now for P4. Coming down into turn number 1. Oh, we go back to the camera just in time perfectly, and it's a move for Mossman. He'll go to 4th. This Mossman to Scorpione battle has been fantastic for the second half of this race. Fast Frankie Mossman for VRD Racing back to P4, Scorpione to 5th. Lots of opportunities, though, for a Scorpione to come back by. Eric, you know what's going to happen here. The draft from 3 down to 5. Carousel to Canada. Lots of attempts to still to take that opportunity to overtake.
And Frankie said yesterday that the biggest thing that he was trying to take away from this weekend is being patient and knowing when to make your move.
Yeah. So here we go. The drivers have got themselves through 5 and 6. The final time around for G3 Argyros. Can he win again? I talked about the floodgates opening up, the confidence there for a young driver getting his first win. That breakthrough of telling himself, I can do this. At this level, I can win. I can go after a championship. And sometimes there's that doubt early on if you don't get that race win. But you get that victory, and man, it just changes things behind the wheel. Through the kink, Argyros looking very good. Last time by, it was over a second. Jeffers runs in second. Andres Cardenas continues to try to push, but the top 3 looking pretty static here right now. Through the kettle bottoms to Canada corner for the final time for G3 Argyros. Going to try to bring Pabst Racing their 4th win of the weekend. The battle continuing for a Scorpione and Mossman. Not happening in Canada, but as they work their way out of the final corners here, what a stellar weekend it's been for the kid from California. The Positive Energy Pabst Racing Machine at a 14. Grabbing gears up the hill. Ladies and gentlemen, back-to-back jacks for G3 Argyros. He wins at Road America in race number 2 for USF Pro 2000. Unbelievable run for G3, challenged all race long, and he gets the fast lap of the race on the last lap. Are you kidding me? That's another bonus point. That's all 33 points. A full brace of points for Argyros. Oh man. Fast lap 201.790. Jack Jeffers second. Andres Cardenas, a fantastic run. 2 podiums for the Peruvian for Jay Howard Driver Development. Frankie Mossman coming out top of that battle with Leonardo Scorpione. Eric, it was a wild one from start to finish. Great job for Argyros. It's going to change things in the championship. Jeffers looking good. Argyros has got momentum. Mid-Ohio up next. I'm loving the way things are shaking down here in this Pro 2000 class.
Argyros capitalized on that pole position, started up front, finished up front, full points spread for round number 2. That's exactly what he's going to need to do to continue to keep in this championship battle. Let's take a look at your USF Pro 2000 unofficial results. Your winner, G3 Argyros, back-to-back here at Road America, round 1 and 2 race winner. Jack Jeffers, your points leader. Championship battle narrows just slightly with second step on the podium, and Andres Cardenas will finish on the third step of the podium as well. In the rest of the top 5, Frankie Mossman will finish 4th, and Leonardo Scorpione will finish in that 5th spot. In 6th, Thomas Schrag. In 7th, the 25 of Teddy Musella. Christian Cameron will take the 27 car home 8th. Joey Brienza in 9th in the number 91 for Exclusive Autosport. Sebastian Manson in the 22 will finish in the top 10. Looking outside the top 10, the 20 of Mayor Dionarine. The 2 of Michael Costello will finish 12th. JT Hoskins in the 13th finishing position. Tyke Durst will finish 14th. Joshua Alanel will finish 15th. And Colin Aiken rounds out your field for VRD Racing in the 16th and final starting position for this USF Pro 2000 Anderson Company's Grand Prix, powered by Elite Engines. Rob Howden from the podium in just a few moments here for USF Pro. To Rob Howden for USF Pro 2000 podiums.
Ladies and gentlemen, down here in Victory Lane to cap off this weekend's action, all part of the Anderson Company's Grand Prix of Road America, powered by Elite Engines. What a battle that was in the USF Pro 2000. Category, great fighting. Not so much in the front for the three drivers. They ran well. The fighting a little bit further back in the pack. Let's start with the driver coming home in third as we roll into podium presentations. Finishing third for J. Howard Driver Development, Andres Cardenas. Andres, I know you wanted the win, are the wins, but podiums are a pretty good way to start here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really good points for the championship. That's why we won. We want to recover from, a difficult start to the championship. But really happy to come away with 2 podiums. We can build on it. I know, for example, Mid-Ohio is a really good track for us. So, looking forward to it.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Let's bring in the trophy here. P3 for Andres Cardenas. There's a Brennan helping us out there. Thank you so much. Finishing in second spot today, point leader coming into the weekend, stacking them up again. A great drive. Finishing P2 for Exclusive Autosport, Jack Jeffers. Jack, you put the pressure on G3 numerous times there. I wondered whether or not you were going to make a move. Were you thinking about just maybe settling back and going for championship points?
Yeah, it definitely came into my mind, thinking about the big picture in the championship. But we always come here to win. We work hard to win. So the whole goal was to, try to put some pressure on him and maybe see if he can make a bobble and then try to get by him that way. But he stayed pretty consistent. He had a few off tracks, but I couldn't capitalize on them. And so, yeah, it was a good result, but, always expecting more.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Second place for Jack Jeffers, folks. A big point day for him. Brody Deschain's going to come in with that P2 trophy. Great job for Jack. Again, all these drivers up front here doing just a tremendous job. 3 different teams as well on the podium. Love seeing that. Jay Howard Driver Development, Exclusive Autosport. And, of course, the middle is going to go to Pabst Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, what a weekend for this young driver. I always talk about getting that first win. It kind of opens the floodgates for more. Back-to-back Jacks. Give it up for the winner today, ladies and gentlemen, G3 Argyros. The sweep of Road America. This team, of course, housed down at Oconomowoc, right close to here. How much does it mean to you to win 2 for them here this weekend?
Well, they say you get the family you're given and the family you're chosen. And I chose probably the best family in this entire paddock. And it shows by how much work and dedication we put into the program, how amazing the coaching is, and, just how down to how well we get to know each other. And it was pretty tight with all 3 of us. And then with 3 to go, my incredible engineer said, hey, run a 101.8. And then I just got to work. And then that was the carrot that I needed to go and run away and just make it a pretty decisive one. But, yeah, from start to finish, I knew that we had, the same beautiful, amazing car that we had to win yesterday. And today from first it was a little bit easier, but lap to lap at Pabst Home is very meaningful, and then especially to sweep, and then not only pro but also how well our 2000 boys have done over there. This has been a weekend for the books.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
G3 Argyros, folks, 4 wins on the weekend for Pabst Racing. Tanner Dahlman's going to bring that trophy in for us here. Great job for G3 Argyros again. Back-to-back wins here, his first 2 victories in Pro 2000 competition. Great for the points as we work our way to the halfway point here, look towards Mid-Ohio, and then after that to Portland as we continue to work our way through this championship. Of course, as we know, the scholarship will send 1 driver from this series into the Indy Next program in 2027 to follow in the footsteps of drivers like Max Garcia, Lockie Hughes, yesterday's Indy Next winner, and as well Miles Rowe, the winner of that fantastic battle at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and the 5 IndyCar drivers who have won this championship as well. Louis Foster, Christian Rasmussen, Stingray Robb, Renus VK, and Kyle Kirkwood all raced in this USF Pro 2000 program. We're proud of our graduates, and we are very proud of the drivers we have in this program right now. So much talent in this category here, and this racetrack is a place where not only is it about drivers, it's all about engineers and the team as well. And Pabst Racing doing a tremendous job here. 4 wins in 5 races for Pabst Racing. I don't know that operation could ask for much more here, again, at their home racetrack. 2 weeks away, we head to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course to see how things run there for the USF Pro 2000 drivers. It's been a great weekend, as we know. Getting ready to cap things off here. Champagne waiting in the wings for the drivers in G3, who gets his 2nd win of his young USF Pro 2000 career. All 3 of these drivers rookies as well in the series. The freshman class unbelievably quick here this year. We're going to very likely see a rookie come away with the championship. It's going to be a tight one, but right now, Jack Jeffers, as we said, extending his point lead over Michael Costello as we head to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Tons of guests, all part of the USF Pro Championships program here. All about it. If you are watching online and want to be part of one of these guest groups, reach out to us. We'd love to host you here at an event. We have a fantastic time. Our whole hospitality crew does a stellar job providing fantastic experiences for those who want to come to these awesome IndyCar events. And again, great to have all these guests with us here this weekend. Again, Champaign will cap things off. 5 races go in the books here this weekend. Started things off, of course, with testing on Thursday, practice and qualifying on Friday. 3 races yesterday and 2 more races today here to start a fantastic day here at Road America. Indy Next and IndyCar still to come. Can't wait for the IndyCar race to see who comes away with the win there. But again, these are the drivers who are going to do that. They're the ones that are going to step up and be in IndyCar in the next number of years. Here comes that champagne, folks. Time to cap off this weekend at Road America. When they throw that champagne, give you one more round of applause. Guys, grab your champagne. Let's get things going. Grip it and rip it. Let's get out and start celebrating the final USF Pro 2000 race of the weekend. Jack Jeffers finishing in that second spot, chased G3 Argyros all race long, but Argyros goes back-to-back with another victory. Solid drive as well for Andres Cardenas as they celebrate together here in Victory Lane. That wraps things up for the Road America weekend for 2026 of the USF Pro Championships. Thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Houghton. Bye for now.